you have no idea who you're going to impact. But if you do your work and show up, if you do your work and say, yes, dear God, please use me. If you do your work and say, you know what? I don't know where all this is leading. I don't have all the answers. I don't even have the clarity on the big vision of what my life is about. But what I do have is the power of today. You've gotten great at divine working, but what about divine living? Welcome to the Divine Living Podcast. I'm your host, Gina DeVee. You're not alone in wanting more. And here at the Divine Living Podcast, you can expect to be part of conversations from women like us who unapologetically dream big and are obsessed with manifesting our most fabulous lives. The conversation starts now. So I just want to warmly welcome you into today's session where we're really bringing it all together, where you really understand that you do have what it takes to make your life a success, make your money successful, make your impact successful, make your business a success, sales, all of it, branding, messaging. You know, there's so much that goes on for an entrepreneur, which is why I just have the greatest respect for them. You know, I mean, I do believe that entrepreneurs are the new celebrities, and I'll never forget the time when I got an opportunity to shoot a Food Network pilot. And the director and the crew were a little concerned about this inexperienced actor because they're like, Gina, these filming days, they're really, really hard. They're long. There's early starts. They go long, you know, it's really, and I was like kind of bracing. I'm like, okay. And then I get there. I'm like, I don't remember if I had to get there at 6 or 7. First of all, there's like the director orchestrating the set. The sound person is doing this. The lighting person's doing that. Catering was set up over here. The producer was doing that. Like I got to sit in a bathrobe and somebody did my hair and makeup. I'm like, at the end of the day, I was like, this was like Club Med. I mean, as entrepreneurs, we have to do our own hair and makeup. We have to set up the lighting. We got to set up the sound. We got to be the talent. We got to do it all. And so you're going to find your way with it, whatever workflow and whatever work style. And I definitely don't want you thinking that you need to work 20 hours a day to get it all done. That has never been the case for me. Thinking bigger will certainly help. Holding yourself to a higher standard, being in spiritual connection, asking God for breakthroughs, and really, really committed to being mindful of results. You know, because it's just so easy to get into the cycle of working all the time. And I remember when I'd gotten out of my psychotherapy practice, and when I was at the clinic, I was like part marketing director and part therapist. So basically just by showing up each week, regardless of my clients, I still got a paycheck. And when I went out on my own, I remember thinking like, oh God, it doesn't matter if I work 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. If I'm not working on money-making activities that actually get results, I'm not going to get paid. This is not paycheck world. And so it really adjusted my thinking and it really helped me streamline. And so much of what I've taught you here in this program is like, you know, sometimes challenging yourself to work fewer hours and be more efficient with it actually gets the bigger results, or being so much more committed and unavailable to not get the results versus just hoping and wishing and wanting and waiting. You know, so there's really a mentality that I want you to have where you're honoring yourself and your time and you're honoring of your talents, and that you are actively working on your inner work, knowing that you do have what it takes. You do have what it takes to be successful. And then when you ask God to lead you and guide you, you're not just going to be sitting on your couch praying and reading spiritual books. If you're really asking God to guide you, you're going to be given very specific action to take. You're going to get like work on that sales page. You're going to go do an Instagram live. You're going to go call 10 people and see if they want to work with you. You're going to put together that webinar, like whatever you're meant to do next, you will be divinely guided, because faith without actions is dead. So yes, you're going to have your faith, but you're also going to take your money-making actions as an entrepreneur so that you are doing what you came here to do, which is really create an impact. by creating the impact. Then I also want you, creating the impact is the giving, and the receiving is the compensation that you're going to receive as a result. And so really developing that wealth consciousness that we've talked about here, your self-esteem, your visibility, raising those standards that you deserve to experience the best of what life has to offer. And that absolutely, just like you wanted to work with me for me to be your mentor, there's so many people that want to work with you for you to be their mentor too. So don't just project all of your talent and light shadows onto others. Own it for yourself also, because we know you're here for a reason. And I believe we are all children of God, and God doesn't create anything but epic. And that means you, Queen. You are amazing. You are talented. Your life, what you've experienced, what you've overcome, and what you can contribute literally compares to no one. It literally compares to no one. So please don't downplay your talent. Please don't think that, oh, well, everyone out there is doing this. If that's the case, then you just lean more exquisitely into the uniqueness of you. Lean more into the power of the universe and God that flows through you, that creates abundance, that creates favor, that creates miracles, that creates fun and laughter, and back to that impact. And do not dismiss what you came here for. Do not dismiss your talent. Do not dismiss your availability to receive compensation for your good works in the world. Don't dismiss your capability of being highly visible and making the biggest impact in the lives of others. I mean, you have no idea who you're going to impact. But if you do your work and show up, if you do your work and say, yes, dear God, please use me. If you do your work and say, you know what? I don't know where all this is leading. I don't have all the answers. I don't even have the clarity on the big vision of what my life is about. But what I do have is the power of today. What I do have is the gift of today. And I'm just going to show up and be so present and play so full out and be so excited and so full of joy and put myself in the game today, whatever today is meant for. And then sometimes when I'm doing this, it's even hour by hour. Okay, dear God, what would you have me do? Sometimes I hear like, go organize your closet, go clean your room. It's like, dear God, what would you have me do? Clear out those emails, respond to that person. Dear God, what would you have me do? Record a podcast, get a snack. Like, just let God be with you every step of the way. And if you're in that like place of like, well, I don't know, was that me or was that God? Find out. Because if you're like, what should I do next? And you hear journal and you're like, oh, am I just avoiding working on that sales page? Go journal. You'll know. Did you create an excuse or was there something in it? Sometimes I'll do this on the little things to kind of hone my intuition so that when the bigger things, I guess they're probably all the same to God. But so I have these like 5 books on my coffee table that I start my day with. And they're all different spiritual books. There's like a Joel Osteen book, there's a Wayne Dyer book, there's a Bible, there's my journal, and there's usually, I don't know, some other kind of transformational book. And I'd gotten in the habit of, okay, I read this book, then I read this book, then I read this book. And I started waking up in the morning, certainly not looking at my phone first. That's a new habit I'm very proud of. And I was like, okay, which book would you have me read first? And it is amazing. So yesterday I heard read the Wayne Dyer book first, and it's all on the Tao Te Ching. And it was totally perfect for the content that I was meant to create yesterday. And I was like, wow, I just feel so filled, like it was perfect. And then today I heard read the Joel Osteen book first. And so I went and I read the next chapter, and I'll always love me a good Joel chapter. You know, he kind of like just spoon feeds the Bible in like the most easiest way to you, right? For anyone who know his stuff. Anyways, he was talking about, one of the things he was talking about was the fishes and the loaves and the little boy and the whole thing. And I really wanted to read the Wayne Dyer book next because I so loved the message from yesterday's Tao Te Ching thing. But I prayed and I said, okay, so which book would you have me read next? And I heard the Bible. And I know I shouldn't say this, but I was like, wah, wah. I mean, sometimes, like, obviously the Bible can be profound, but sometimes a little dry for me. So I was like, meh. So, anyways, I go and I pick up the Bible and I just pick up where I left off from the previous time. And it's the actual full story of the fishes and loaves that I didn't know was coming next. And I didn't have the backstory on it. And it just like brought the whole thing to life. Anyways, all I'm saying is it was a bit of a daily dazzle. It was just a bit of like dancing with the divine, like, oh, we don't have to figure all this out on our own. Like, oh, like spirit is there with us. Oh, it's not just like do this task and do this thing. Like there gets to be a dazzle in it. And that's really what I'm committed to. But for you to experience that, you got to get out of the box. You got to get out of the mundane. You got to get out of the robotic. You got to get out of like the rigid routine. My routine is I go to bed early, I wake up early, and I start my day with reading books. But you can tell like I got out of the rigidity of I read this book, then I read this book, then I read this book. And now I play with it a little bit more. And that's what I want for you with your business, your career. I want you to add an element of play. The women that have gone before us, I have so much reverence for the previous generations and the women that were really coming of age in their careers in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s even. And it was a different era and it was a different ethos. And I wasn't a career woman then, but from what I can tell, like there was a big conversation about like trying to be a woman in a man's world and playing a man's game and working your way to the top. And there was all this relinquishing of femininity. And because of their groundbreaking and because of the glass ceilings that they broke, we don't have to do that anymore. Like women like us, we get to have more of our feminine flair at play and more of our intuition leading the way. And then the work that we're doing is going to positively impact the next generation so that maybe other little girls won't be afraid of all the things that so many in this generation were, the fear of being visible and needing to transform the money story and the fear of like, do I have what it takes? And what are other people going to say? Like, imagine the next generation of women, like just being confident, just loving who they are, just like, knowing that abundance is their birthright, and so just know that everything that you're doing, it matters. It matters to you. It matters to God. It matters to the people that you're already working with, the people that you're going to work with, and the people that you have no idea whose lives you're going to touch. I think that for those of us that, I don't know, have less than 10 million followers on Instagram, we think that we know who's watching us because we go in and we look at our likes and we look at our views and we look at our stories and we look and see who's watching and the whole thing. And it amazes me. It amazes me at how many people, sometimes they're close friends of mine, and sometimes they're people in another country that I've never met and maybe never will, right? And let me know like how much some video I posted made a difference in their life that day. And I was like, wait, how'd you see that? I didn't see you. Like, and I pay attention to this stuff. And, it's a really, really beautiful time to be an entrepreneur. And it's not always easy, the easy path, but it is always the fulfilling and the rewarding one and an enriching one. So don't give up and keep leaning in deep and keep discovering the way and keep asking for what the next step is. And know that when you don't give up and you create the consistency, it really, really does make a difference. It was interesting. I was working out with my trainer today and I'm like 5.5 months in of working with this trainer. And he had me do, not that it matters, but I'm a little proud. He calls them walking planks, where I'll start like out in a plank position and go down to my elbows and then come back up. And he had me do a walking plank. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I just breezed through it. And he was like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. Oh yeah, it had to be yesterday. Cause I was like, maybe it was all the carbs I ate over the weekend, all the pizza, et cetera, that like gave me an extra burst of energy. And he's like, all right. So I started on my like healthy, clean eating again Monday. Cause that's obviously what Mondays are for. Celery juice, intermittent fasting, and a roasted chicken. And so today he's like, I want you to walk in planks again. And I was like, I just did them yesterday. He's like, yeah, but I just got to see if this is like really the new Hugh. He's like, you did like 12 sets of walking planes in 30 seconds. And I was like, okay. So I went and I did it again today and did it in 25 seconds. And I said, well, I guess it wasn't the pizza. It must be the roasted chicken now. And he's like, Gina, do you remember what you were like when you first did the walking planks? And I was like, struggle central. First of all, I had to do 6 of them. I think it took me, 45 to 60 seconds to do them. I thought I was going to it wiped me out. It took all. And it was like almost like without even noticing or trying, I'm now doing 12 sets in 25 seconds. And I was just like, wow, like when I don't work out that hard. I have told him right from the beginning, I have zero need to be an overachiever in the physical area. The fact that I am moving my body with supervision every day is enough for 10 gold stars for me. That's like it. And so I work out and it's gotten to a point where it's pleasurable and it's gotten to a point where it's a habit. And then I just saw like, wow, like you do get stronger and it does get easier. And that's what I've learned about entrepreneurship too. Like just stay consistent. Every day isn't a win. Every day doesn't always feel awesome. I don't feel awesome physically every day or emotionally every day. And sometimes those workouts are harder than others because of those reasons. And yet you just keep going and you keep doing it. And then it does get easier and you do get stronger and you get better results, like literally working less. All right. So this is what I have definitely learned on my entrepreneurial journey is that you don't have to, it's not meant to be excruciating. I mean, there's times when you got to dig into your guts and pull a rabbit out of a hat, but for the most part, it's show up, be alive, be consistent, love yourself, do what you love. And if there's a type of marketing or a type of program that's like gotten old for you or is like not your thing, then great. Like add some dazzle and sparkle and shift it up. Like you get to be the creator. Just remember, unlike that Food Network set where there was a different director, you are the director of your business. So do what's going to make you proud and do what's going to fill you up. There's so many ways to create impact and there's so many ways to make money. So do yours by design. All right, Queen. All right, let's pray. Dear God, thank you. Thank you for all the courageous entrepreneurs out there that are showing up every day, not giving up, seeking you, asking to be shown, looking for the clarity and the guidance and the uniqueness that you've placed inside each and every one of us. And I just ask for a very special blessing, a blessing of favor, a blessing of protection, a blessing of prosperity over every person listening right now. That what we touch would be fruitful, would be impactful, that the actions that we take would make a difference, and that we more quickly would look to seek you for our next level steps, calling, mission, vision, branding, any of it. Let us be known by our fruits and let your spirit flow through all we do. And we pray this believing, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Did you love the episode as much as I did? I hope so. I hope that you're feeling filled up and that all your dreams are possible and that you absolutely have what it takes to do this. And I am here for you. I'm here on your journey. And I just want to make sure that you are constantly supported with all things Queen, high vibe, positivity, spiritual superpowers, and all the things. So if you have not already gotten in on the free companion course to my book, my book is The Audacity to Be Queen, The Unapologetic Art of Dreaming Big and Manifesting Your Most Fabulous Life. You can get my book. I'll leave the link in the show notes. But I also have a free companion course. Whether or not you get the book, this course is meant to just support you with really taking a look at who you are and how you can get to where you want to go. So you can check it out at divineliving.com/audacity, divineliving.com/audacity. That link will be in the show notes as well. Like I said, it's completely free. There's videos, there's workbooks, there's a Facebook group, So get in on this good free content, share the link with your friends, and enjoy.